This meeting is being
What's
recorded.
up, you dirty dogs? Sly Dog, Dirty Man, Fantasy Footballer, Shane Falco, Nathaniel Johnson, the dirtiest of us all. What's up, my man? How are we doing today?
I am good. Campbell, how are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm going to adjust my camera just a little bit here. There we go. There we go. Man, I'm good. I'm just hanging out, ready. Loving the 1-0 feeling. Who can relate? You know what I mean? Who can relate? Guys, this was a big week in the Dirty Men's League. Though no trades, and we expect that to change. Hopefully, it is Thursday. It's been a week. It's been 2 weeks since our draft, so let's get some action going. But guys, so this is such a fun league. It was a great first week. Lots of big storylines. Some of them that we all know about. Nathaniel's got a little insider thing that'll be fun to talk about. So I think this will be a good show for all of us. Hopefully one that won't get clipped and thrown in our face by Kurt Chunk later either. All right, we get it, Kurt Chunk. We get it. I'll say this. Nate, you can say this if you want, but I'm gonna say I'm gonna apologize. I doubted you, and you had a great week one. Now, and that's what we did. I didn't say anything about your season necessarily. I was like, week one, I think you're a little overhyped. Lo and behold, I just underhyped you. So I'm sorry. On behalf of Justin Campbell and Tupe Ware and all Tupe Wares across the world, we are sorry. Nate, do you want to issue an apology, or are you kind of just saying, no, I trust the process?
I don't. In fact, although I'd like to absolve myself of any guilt, all I did was laugh in that clip that he shared. You said all the negative stuff, and I just chuckled, which could be taken either way. I could have been calling you a fool with my laughter or calling Chunk overhyped. However, I'm going to stick with overhyped. I think that we're going to see some steep decline from the Chunkaroonie. And I think he should make a lot of trades with me before that happens. So that's the plan.
Yeah, man. Nothing will boost you up like making a trade with old Nate, right?
That's right.
That's so funny. I love it. Yeah, man. All right. So yeah, I think Kershawn's thing, like, it is good. It is good. Is it that good though? Right? Because you talked to me about the stat that you threw out a little bit ago, just about how historic this game was for that team.
So our good pal, Mr. Chunkaroonie here, he has taken Nicholas is our champion. Papa Elway is our reigning champion, and he set the record. Yes, all hail, basically homeless. He set the record in 2020. In fact, the last two previous highest scored records were both Papa Elway, and the third one before that was Tupe Ware himself at 215 points. That was back in 2018. In 2019, you held on to that. Nobody scored more than that in all of 2019. 2020, in week 3, Nicholas posted a whopping 229 points for that week. And then in week 16, which championship week breaks that record with 233 points.
I didn't realize he did that championship week.
Yeah, what a week to do it. And 233 looks like chump change next to week 1 in year 2021, Kerchunk's 245 points.
Golly.
So I will say that it is possible here. I don't know if you guys have looked at the all-time standings. There's like the league legend. There's a lot of fun stuff on there. But Chunk is new to the league this year. However, it doesn't account for that. So it shows Kerchunk as the lowest in the all-time standings of the league. But we might be seeing a change in that. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens.
Man, he's 1-0. He's 1-0, man. And I can tell you, that's crazy. Just historically took that over like that. Welcome to the league. Welcome to the league, right? And like, speaking of newbies, though, real fast, we're gonna jump to our 4th bullet point. We'll come back to the 2nd. Xander, welcome to the league, sucker. Welcome to the league, boy. Woo! Get it. That's how we do it around here, boy. I'll tell you what. My goodness. Teach you a thing or two about a thing or two. Took them to the absolute coals, man. Woo! Tupe Wares, man. We ain't messing around. We ain't messing around. 2nd highest points in the league this week, which is fine when the first is first of all time. No shame in that. We here.
No shame.
We here.
I think we should give a shout out to the other newcomer in the league. That would be Mr. Zeus. All right. Zeus came in, and Duke, he's a pretty intimidating guy. Like, people don't know this about him, but he sends a lot of like private messages that just like cuss you out and stuff, which is pretty jacked up. But Zeus came in and he saw Marcus put up 140 points, and he said, "No, sir, not going to cut it.
Not
He
enough.
came through with 142 points, showed Marcus
Wow.
who's boss, and told him the time of the Duke is over, right? Go join Chunk. Go join Chunk in the standings. So that's what happened last week, and I'm excited to see how Zeus keeps going.
The time of the Duke is over.
Done.
For toddlers everywhere, hopefully, and for you, Marcus.
That is 100% right.
That is so funny. I love that, man. All right, so while we're in the topic of time, the time of people being over, hey, we gotta look. Is the time of the Mastodon? Is it over? Has this Nasta become a Nasta dusk? You know what I'm saying? Like, are we on the other side of the day here?
Has the meteor hit and officially extincted the Mastodon? The answer is no. Although what happened was this: last week I was feeling full of myself. For those of you that don't know, we're home quarantined, and I'm just here with nothing to do but stare at my football team all day and be a parent, I guess, but mostly just stare at my football team. And I just got too excited, and I put out this message, and I started talking trash to everybody, and then the Lord said, "No, sir." He humbled me in the sight of my friends, and just slapped, as he does. He slapped down the fantasy points of all of my guys, and I'm hoping this week is a little bit different. Holy cow! As I have been prayerful and humbly subjugating myself before Him, lifting up each of these players. So
Going down.
So hopefully, I don't have it happen again.
Yeah, obviously, with your squad, the odds of Aaron Rodgers and Calvin Ridley combining for less than 12 points again is pretty low, pretty low. So I'm feeling good about that as well. But on the other end, you had, I think if Chris Carson falls into the end zone one time, right, 16 carries for 91 yards and 3 receptions for 26, right? If he falls into the end zone once, we're feeling a little bit better about your week. All these kinds of things. If Aaron Rodgers literally has a not historically bad for him game. Right. We're feeling a little different. So yeah, I think your team's not as bad as it looks. Like, I think you and Kachuk are just kind of are you going to even it out a little bit? Like, he's got a great team. He literally could win the championship. This team's really, really good.
For sure.
I don't think he's going to I don't think he's just going to be like, well, at the end of the season, the top 16 scores of all time are all him. Dang. Yeah, that's not how I see this going for us.
If it does, let's just agree to shut it down, though. Like, at the end of the league, just shut it down.
Just shut it down. No, we don't. We just kick him out. We just kick him out. Sometimes you have to do that, man. So,
Tanner, let me find this date.
All right, man. So, what I want you to do is tell me. You said you have some insider information, some sort of insider trading going on here. Talk to me about what you got going on.
So, at the last time we did this podcast, we talked about post draft, and we talked about how one of our least favorite picks in the second round was James Robinson being taken by Tanner while a bunch of other guys were still on the board. So shortly after we posted that thing, I get a text message from Tanner in the most Tannerist response ever, and I loved it. And Tanner says, "I can't wait for you guys to be wrong about James Robinson." And and the week hits, and we were so right about James Robinson. Now it's week 1. Don't want to take that away from Tanner's. I get it. It's week 1. This week might come out and just be popping. But it also looks like maybe Tanner should pick up Carlos Hyde. So
Carlos Hyde had 7.8 points and dominated James Robinson. Hey, but in fairness, James Robinson dominated Ronald Jones. Holy moly, negative points. Thanks, Ronald. Yeah, that's a rough one. That is so funny. All right, man. So let's look at these waiver wire ads real fast. So they go through Wednesday morning, and I'm looking at this at $51 on Zach Pascal. I'm pretty sure that's more than his salary from the Colts. $51 on Zach Pascal. I want to ask you, what receiver, who would you normally think of as a $51 receiver? Like, who, it's like, obviously, like if Keenan Allen goes on there, it's $100. Like if someone dropped him for whatever reason, $100, whatever. But $51, I mean, I feel like that's like That's someone that's still quality. I'm thinking a lot of these second-year receivers. Like if T. Higgins hits, I probably wouldn't put 100 down, or maybe I put like 75-ish, but that 51
Yeah.
might would actually win it. So to give over half of your full salary for Zach Pascal, but we don't question the king. We don't question the
crown.
Yeah.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown, baby. I think there's a lot that played into that decision. I think that Nicholas came out last week and was like, anybody have any like wide receiver 2 or 3s that they need that they would want to take from something from my bench? And he was really feeling like wide receiver was his low point. On top of that, I don't know that Nicholas actually got to watch the Colts game, but if you click on Zach Pascal's profile, it's talking about how he's going to be the hottest waiver wire ad of the week, and he's going to be, this big time usable receiver. I think somebody just reading that, looking like I need somebody, they're going in on it, and that's where Nicholas felt that he was. Did anyone else bid? Was it the only?
Xander put $2, put a $2 bid. So he overpaid by $48.
Oh, Nicholas, the Lord loves you, and so do we, buddy.
Yes, man. That was just so crazy. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
And what's crazy to me is it's $5 more than Elijah Mitchell went for. Pascal only had 4 receptions as a wide receiver for 43 yards. Right? Elijah Mitchell.
Got 2 tubs, though.
Yeah, that's right. Elijah Mitchell goes 19 for 104 and a tutty at running back and goes for 46 with 5 bids. So 46 was actually not much of an overpay with you losing out at 41.
Dang
So my question for you is, the ballers were talking about this yesterday. You lost at $41. In retrospect, are you saying I should just put more down? Or are you like, I'm happy that I lost at 41? Like that's a number I can live with losing at.
Yeah, no, I was pleased with that. I don't feel like running back is a place where my team is hurting even. So like for me, he was somebody that it was like, I want to pick him up so that others can't and then trade him away. So like I'm glad I didn't spend over half my budget on a potential trade. And so no, I was sad to have lost just because I hated losing in that moment anyways. But I think that John made the right call putting down his 46, and I started mine at 27 or 21, and then like 8 times throughout the day, like every 2 hours, like bump it up, and I finally landed at 41 and made myself stick. But I'm glad to have lost at that number.
Yeah, like I said, like 46 I thought that was a great price.
Yeah,
it didn't go what the ballers would call a full Hagar. It's a 55, but a 46, man, that's a solid price. Then what's crazy to me is the guy who might be the best producer of these 3 waiver wires that I want to highlight is Tim Patrick, going for $2. $2 for Tim Patrick, who's produced in the past, whose best receiver just went down on the team, potentially best, and now has a real chance to do again what he's done before. I'm trying to pull it back up, but on a laptop it's a little weird. There it is. I say there it is. There it is. Tim Patrick. Yeah, so last year in 2020, when Tim Patrick got hot, he hit double digits almost every single week there for about 10 weeks straight in the middle. That's the guy that he's known to produce. He's 6'4", 212. 6'4",
I didn't realize he was that big.
Yeah, I also thought he was white because his name's Tim Patrick. But that's why we don't racial sterilize. Even worse, we also don't racially sterilize.
I was gonna say maybe like it's Timmy Patrick, but that also seems a little bit racist. I feel like it's getting off the rails.
You're also not allowed to say that.
We should delete it.
YouTube is gonna flag this so hard.
Canceled.
We do not affirm nor subscribe to any racist tendencies or policies by politicians or governments, near foreign or domestic.
I'm so sorry, Shane Falco. You'd be disappointed. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Tim Patrick, good receiver in the NFL. Anyway, so let's move. All right, so that is week 1 as a recap. We're going to look ahead to week 2. Now we're going to speed this up a little bit. So last week, Kurt Chonk was projected for the most points. And we were like, no way is that dude going to score the most points. And yet he did. I'm banking on the sleeper gods being right again because your boy Tupe Ware is projected to score the most points in the league, which would lead to who do I play this week, Nate?
That would be the Diamond Dogs.
Oh! Absolutely. That was unscripted and that went so well. That was a really good time right there. Yeah, we do play each other, which is really exciting. And I hope, like I said, hopefully the sleeper gods are right. Here's what I want to do real fast. I said we go head to head, but let's look at this real quick. Are you looking at our matchup right now? All right.
Yep.
Give me like an X factor, something that you think needs to happen for you to win, and I'll do the same. Something that needs to happen for me to lose. I'll say something that needs to happen for me to win, right? So you tell me what you're looking for, and I'll tell you something that I'm kind of looking for on my team.
Okay, so based on what we saw week 1, I'm looking for some of my guys to produce in these potential plus matchups here. So I've got, Aaron Rodgers going against Detroit. I need at least 3 touchdowns here, A-Rod. I want a game, and I think based on the Detroit's defense, what they have, I definitely think that's possible. And then I also need Calvin Ridley and AJ Brown. Both of those guys need to be able to blow up in their matchups. And while Calvin Ridley's playing Tampa Bay and they've got a pretty good defense, the air is where they're going to get beat. So we saw Amari and we saw CeeDee Lamb just post up some huge numbers, and I need that to happen again for Calvin Ridley. I need the Falcons to figure it out. And then AJ Brown, I need Tennessee they just collapsed last week, so I need them to come in big against Seattle, and I think that's a defense that he can do that on. So if my guys can hit what they're capable of hitting, then I think it's going to be a fun week.
There you go, man. I'll tell you, the one thing I'm looking for on my team is I need my Dak and Lamb stack to hit. That's overwhelmingly important going against a really good defense like this. It's possible that Dak doesn't throws for like maybe 1 touchdown. Like that's possibly has a pretty pedestrian game against this. Like the Chargers have potentially the best they have like a top 10 defense in the league this year, like top to bottom. And if they can limit Lamb, that's a legitimate concern for me. So we'll see. Like I'm optimistic, obviously. And like the Chargers D line is legit. There's real pieces here that they could really limit this Dallas offense, and we see a lot more of the running game. And all of a sudden, my team at that point, like I need that. And Kenny G. So check this out. Danny Dimes is a great deep ball passer. This is why I've been high on Kenny G all offseason. Like kind of like I have him in so many leagues. I'm like, he's a deep ball only receiver going to statistically the second best deep ball passer in the league, which is crazy. But I'm like, this is gonna work, and it's gonna make Danny Dimes even better. They had a rough week 1, which you're allowed to have. But the thing is, that offensive line is so bad, and I'm so concerned about that. But I think if they can get the running game going this time, like, last week Saquon ran for less than 30 yards. I think if they can get this just 60, right? Just have a running presence, it'll open up the top a little bit, and we'll be able to hit that. If my stack hits, and all I need is like, if I can get 10 points from Kenny Golladay, I'm feeling pretty good. Are you willing to make a water bet on this?
Straight win or loss water bet?
I'm asking you. You're the underdog. You can set some terms. No, you're just the underdog on sleeper. I didn't.
You know what? Hey, I thrive. I do my best work on the bottom. Okay, so let's go water bet head to head. I think that A-Rod is going to pull it out, and we're going to get that dub this week.
Let's get it. So you let me as the favorite just have equal odds straight up.
Straight up. Let's go.
What a mistake. I'll take it. Here it is, boys. Water bet done right here. Everybody can watch it. All right, let's keep this ball rolling. Here we go. Speaking of water bets, can you update us on the Javonte Williams versus Melvin Gordon water bet?
I can. So the first water bet of the season, as far as we know, somebody else may have theirs out there that they haven't advertised to us. But right now we've got Melvin Gordon versus Javonte Williams head to head through the first 5 weeks. And I bet that Melvin Gordon would be a better fantasy asset for the first 5 weeks of the season. And Campbell bet that it would be Javonte Williams. So currently, quick update on that water bet. Melvin Gordon is dominating it at 24.8 points this week, or last week rather. So week 1, Melvin Gordon puts up about 25. And I know it's on the back of a 70-yard touchdown burst. However, pretty exciting stuff. So Melvin Gordon, he's rocking at what, about 3 yards a carry? That's what we got Melvin G at. And he went 10 for 30, I think, 10 for 30 prior to the touchdown run.
Yeah.
So 10 for 30 prior to the touchdown run, finishes at 11 for 101 and a touchdown. And he also had three receptions as well. So they definitely involved super usable guy. Javonte Williams comes through, and he ends up with 14 carries. Is that correct? Yes, 14 carries for 45 yards. So he's looking a little prettier. He had some more carries, but that game also got out of hand. You can call it what you want. But he ended up with just 3.2 a carry. So both those guys are sitting pretty even. And he did have a reception for -4 yards. So that's exciting for him as well. So yeah, right now, Melvin G's taking the cake. He's got about 20 points on Javonte Williams for the first fifth of the water bet, and we'll see how it keeps up.
Yeah, man, it wasn't that touch. Like at first I was like, man, this is going to be tight. This is going to be a tight race all the way through of just garbage. Like apparently they both just suck. And then that 7-yard touchdown really broke out for him. So good for you, man. And we'll see. We got 4 more weeks to go.
I needed it because my team was doing so bad, and I got that alert, and it was just like, it was like Christmas morning the way I celebrated. Like I was just like, yeah, and so it was a big moment for me. I was excited.
Good for you, man. All right, so while we're looking ahead, man. So do you have besides yourself? So we'll remove our game.
Yeah.
Is there an upset? Do you have an upset? Someone that you're looking at? Duke is a 12-point dog to Papa Elway. Zeus has, I guess, a 9-point. Yeah, he's 9-point favorites over JT Whitfield. Tanner is a 10-point dog to Najee, aka Prospect Perez, and Kerchunk is a whopping 19-point favorite over Xander. Do you have an underdog you think can win this week?
Yeah, I do. I'm giving it to my boy T Diggs.
Okay.
I think that no biggie Tan Diggy is gonna step up, and I think that he's gonna take over the Najee unit from Prospect Perez, and he's gonna get the W. 12 points, 10 points projected under, and I just think that Tanner's team, like, I expect, for all the crap we gave him earlier, I expect James Robinson to do better than 4 points. And I don't know. I know that Prospect's he went after, Nelson Aguilar. He's got him in the lineup. Brandon Cooks exploded last week. And, like, I didn't get to watch the game, but listening to, like, the Ballers and everybody talk about it, like, Texas wasn't very good. The Jaguars were just very, very bad. So maybe we'll see that kind of balance out this week and see the Texans kind of regress a little bit. Not that Brandon Cooks isn't still going to be great, but I think that there'll be a little bit of regression there. So yeah, I'm giving it to Tanner this week to take that upset.
Yeah, one of my friends actually is a paid analyst now by a player profiler. And so he actually had to break down that game from the Jacksonville Jaguars offensive perspective. And he was like, just over and over again, Trevor Lawrence refused to take the check down. Right. So they're going to pound that into him this week. Right. Bro, just take the check down. Take the check down. Like they ran a cover 2 shell where the corner on the same side as the running back dropped. And that corner picked off a curl route. Like a curl route, not a drag over a curl. It's like, bro, just hit if that corner drops and it's cover 2, let me tell you who's open. Just hit the flat for like 7 yards, right? And that's 1.7 yards or 1.7 points. That happens 2 or 3 times.
Yeah,
you got an 11-point week. So I agree. All right. Last item on the docket here is what I'm calling, because it almost rhymes, is the Brandon Aiyuk dispute. Now check this out.
Almost.
Yeah, it's really close. If you say it right, if you say it like that, it's really, really close, right? So check this out. Brandon Aiyuk got like basically no points, no snaps until the third quarter. Didn't look great, for sure. And one of the things that you threw out was, have we considered that Brandon Aiyuk might just be bad, based off of nothing, for what it's worth. For what it's worth, one of the most baseless questions I've ever seen in my life. No, but here's what I want to do. I want to present my case a little bit. I want to highlight his college profile, because that was a question thrown out. It's like, who even is this guy? And I think that's fair. A lot of our guys don't look at this as intensely as I do, right? Because I know you don't even follow college ball much. And then we'll look at his rookie year. We'll look at the coach speak. and then we'll look ahead. Okay. So college profile wise, Brandon Aiyuk with 6 foot 205 coming out of Arizona State. He's taken in the first round. That matters a lot. First round pick. Now check this out. His college dominator, which means what percentage of the passing yards and targets were you a part of, right? Did you get 40%, which okay, what does that mean? That means he's in the 82nd percentile of all NFL rookies over time, not just of that season, just like over time, guys coming in, 82nd percentile. Okay, that's absolutely fantastic. College yards per reception, 87th percentile, averaging 18 yards a catch. College target share, 88th percentile. He has a burst score of 132. What does that mean? It means he's in the 92nd percentile of all receivers going into the NFL over time. Sure. 92nd percentile of all. Like this is since the combine started. 92nd percentile. This dude's an absolutely amazing athlete. Okay, he's a terrific athlete. He's a great receiver by college standards. Then he goes into the NFL. And you're like, yeah, Justin, he went into the NFL and he sucks and he's garbage and all these things. Maybe, or maybe he had an absolutely amazing rookie year. It's not pulling up for me on my laptop, which is a little disappointing considering my whole thing is based off of me being able to communicate to y'all effectively. So while I pull this up really fast on my phone, check this guy out. So I highlighted it just briefly in the last year in the chat. So he only played in 12 games. His PPR wide receiver number 35 last year as a rookie. His game log from last year, 2020, right? Week 1 doesn't play. Just like maybe he's just gonna repeat like last year for what it's worth. All right, maybe he's just not gonna play week 1, and then in week 2 only get 4.1 points on a 73% snap share, and everyone's gonna be like, "See, I told you." And then in week 3, he's gonna get 8 targets and go for 21 fantasy points, followed by 13, 7, 9, 17, 23, doesn't play because he's injured, 19, bye week, doesn't play because he's injured, 20, 21, 22, and then 4. So, like I said, 19 points or more in exactly half of the games that he's played now.
Right.
19 points or more, Nate. That's startable
in half
every
of the
single
games,
time.
right?
And half of his games, 19 points or more.
Okay.
That's absolutely terrific. That is absolutely terrific.
That's pretty good.
If I had more time on my hands, I would look up exactly how many receivers have scored 19 points or more in half of their games, and I guarantee that list would be short.
It might be.
It absolutely would be.
Well, listen, I don't want to argue.
I'll finish this. The last part is the coach speak. So now we have this coach speak where Shanahan says, if you want to get on the field, be better than the guy behind you. Basically, that's what he says.
Yep. All
right, I pass it to you now.
So he also said, don't leave out this part too, but they asked about Aiyuk, and he said, well, he's still learning how to be a pro. So that's another comment that I think is important to keep in mind. So two vocal comments about a receiver that I don't feel like we often get direct comments about an individual player from the coach, but we have for Aiyuk. So for Aiyuk, looking at those games, I think it's important to break down who else was present on the field in those games when he did well. So 8 of his games last year where he went up into the double-digit points, 6 of those, there was no Deebo Samuel and there was no George Kittle. So he had 2 games where he succeeded with those guys off the field. When those guys were present, Aiyuk was not a factor except for in 2 games, and one of those ones he put up 13, and the other one was when he put up he had a big game. That's when he put up, I think it was 19. So he looked great in those 2 weeks. But looking at like George Kittle, one of those weeks, Kittle put up like 40 points or something ridiculous. Like that was a big blow up week for the whole Niners offense. So outside of those 2 guys and Aiyuk being there, who are the other guys in their team that they have as wide receiving? Like who else is catching the ball? Jalen Hurd. Nobody. I'm looking at the thing like, there's no good options for them to throw the ball to. But for a lot of it, he was the only guy in town. So would it be possible, and this is what you said was based on nothing. However, the question is it possible that with a healthy Deebo and a healthy Kittle, Aiyuk is a product of necessary volume? And outside of that volume, like he's not as good as the guys in front of him. So who's a better wide receiver, Deebo Samuel or Brandon Aiyuk?
It's Literally, I literally think they're very close.
Okay.
And I'm not just saying that. That is like, first of all, one of them was taken in the first round, one of them wasn't. Right?
Hey, that's a good point.
Yeah. So I think there is some precedent for saying Aiyuk might at least have a better profile.
Yeah, he's got the higher draft capital, right? Which is important too. So if he comes out, also they're talking about that Aiyuk was a full go in practice this week, right? So he's healthy. And if this week he comes out and plays 40% of the snaps and is a bum, like then we have to have the discussion. Like maybe he's just not very good right now. Like whatever it is that's going on, maybe the NFL is a little bit harder than we think it is, and so.
So here's the part of the equation I don't think is considered enough is who was the quarterback last year. Nick Mullins. Mullins. Yeah.
Let's see, how many games did Nick Mullins play?
Almost all of them, didn't he? I thought what's his face went down pretty early and missed a lot of the season.
Let's find out.
Jimmy G. Yeah.
Jimmy G in 2020. Jimmy G plays 1, 2. Yeah, Jimmy G only plays 4 games total.
Right.
And he plays other ones, but goes down in those games.
Right. So I think there's a lot of factors. Like you said, let's consider the receiving options. I'm like, yeah, 100%. Let's also consider who the quarterback was, right? And I think I would say Jimmy G I think Jimmy G can make 2 of those 3 guys good any game. I think Trey Lance can make all 3. And that's what I'm excited. And that's what I'm banking on. I have Trey Lance in like 70% of my underdog leagues, if you know what underdog is. And that's my best ball leagues essentially. Because I believe. I picked him in this league, and he's my franchise tag guy, right? I fully believe, and I think people are gonna want him, and I get that. And I'm like, too bad, he's franchised, so you can't have him. Literally, the only reason I didn't franchise Rondale Moore is because how good of a trade value I think he'll be. So I think Trey Lance is gonna be absolutely amazing. So we'll see. So let's do this. Let's wrap it up. 2021 projection. What do you see from Brandon Aiyuk?
Man, it's hard to know.
It's hard. This is tough.
Yeah. Based off what we've seen, the Niners have a hard time staying healthy. So it is entirely possible that Aiyuk becomes a necessary product of like volume again, which would make him a usable and a good draft. I mean, he went in the 6th round, I think. Kind of his ADP was up there. And so if you get a guy who ends up being the wide receiver 1 for the team again in the 6th round, then you're going to be happy with that. If Debo stays healthy and George Kittle stay healthy, I think that you're going to be, you wish you would have taken Debo Samuel at his 8th or 9th round ADP. So as far as projection goes, I think I'm gonna poo-poo. I'm gonna be the negative one here and say that I'm gonna give him a wide receiver 36 or worse.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, you got off to a rough start. I took him at the 2nd pick of the 4th, for what it's worth.
Oh yeah, because you said I want him, and so you went and got him.
When I wasn't gonna pick again for a really long time, so I was like, here we go. And I like I said, I still don't think it's a reach. I still don't. If you count in keepers, he was like the 24th taken receiver or something. It's like
that's true.
So I don't mind that, or maybe like 20th, but I don't mind that. And I think I honestly still see him as a wide receiver too. Okay. I still do. I think that's my own production. So what about 22 and beyond? Is there any chance that this guy? Let's like that Brandon Aiyuk is like a 1st round wide receiver, 1st or 2nd round receiver type guy? Do you see that in the cards for him?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think that high. I think that there are very few guys who like hit that spot that every year you're like, that's the guy you want. I don't know that Aiyuk is going to be a Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins type guy. I think he might be more like a Sammy Watkins type guy who looks really good at times, 1st round draft pick, but is always kind of a disappointment at the end of the season.
Well, I hate that. And hope that you're wrong. All right. So last 2 points here. If you had Brandon Aiyuk in a redraft, like asking for a friend, I guess, is he a buy, sell, or hold for you?
He's a hold. In Dynasty, I wanted to try to go buy him, but because I wanted to buy him cheap just and just see what if. But the guys that have him, see him with such value that they're not selling cheap. So so it's tough there to buy low. So I'm not really trying to buy him right now because I don't really know that that's an option after week 1. People are still saying I want to hold and see. Maybe after week 2, if we have another dud, that will change. But I don't think you can sell him either, and especially in redraft. I don't think you're getting the appropriate value for what you want. So so no, I think he's a hold, and hopefully this week we see that is not a trend. It's just an outlier.
Yeah, I agree. Talk to me about DraftKings. So you have some sort of story here.
Yeah, so this is the real reason that I'm upset with Brandon Aiyuk. I did DraftKings for the first time this year and super excited. I was like, let's give it a shot. You know, got a little Ballers promo code in there, got to jump in with some free cashola. And I entered a few like little $5 contests. Ended up winning a little bit, which is exciting.
Good for you.
And when I say a little bit, I mean like $18, like a little bit.
But being in the money is not easy. Good for you.
Hey, that's right. So I got $18. It was like a 4-person. Everybody jump in with $5, and then the winner comes away with it all. So I got that. But in like 3 of the places I bought Aiyuk because he was a cheaper wide receiver based on the budget system, and so I had Aiyuk in a couple of places. And if Aiyuk had gotten me 13 fantasy points, which seems like it should have totally been doable, then I would have walked away with 10 G's, $10,000.
Oh.
If Aiyuk gets me 13 points, but he doesn't. And I should have known. Should have thought about all these things that I put together now. And but I was watching it, and I was at that point, and I was like, I started ticking down. I was like, oh no. And then I was like, okay, but Aiyuk, we're gonna get. No, I didn't.
Oh man.
So you know what? I was out on the money, and we'll see this week if we can make it happen. But I won't be bidding on Aiyuk. I tell you that.
Hey, I can't blame you. Well, fool me once, right? Fool me twice.
That's right.
Absolutely, man. Hey, this is fun. I hope y'all enjoyed, week 1 preview, week 2, or week 1 recap, week 2 preview. Man, we had some good moments. That was good stuff, man. The Diamond Dogs are going down this week, guys. This is a lot of fun. This is good. I love doing this. Hey, if y'all want to be in the show, hit me up. We can do this together. I'm kind of hosting. Nate's been, Nate and I are doing this together, but it's kind of my idea. Like we can adjust. We can do it just y'all, so we can do it just us two. We can do us 3. It's Zoom, baby. We can all be in here together for a little gallery view. It'd be absolutely chaotic, and I don't want to host that. But it'd be a good time. Guys, this is awesome. Good luck, everybody, and we'll talk again next week.
See you, fellas.